Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today I'm very excited because I've got a brand new Prime just came in the mail today. I've got Transformers Prime, BeastHunter's Voyager class, Optimus Prime, and here he is, brand new. This is the first or second Optimus Prime of the year. He's brand new, and I already love this toy. Check this guy out. He looks so cool, so powerful. He's rolling around real awesome. Now, this guy is actually it's kind of something new that they've done here. It's sort of a re-release, but not quite. What they did is they took this guy right here, which was the, I don't know, Legends class or Commander class. For this is the small toy class that was previously out for Beast Hunters. This is the Optimus Prime, and as you can see, these guys are very similar to each other, because what they did is they pretty much took this mold and just made it bigger. And they upsized it to the Voyager class. Now, it's not identical in every way. They have made some changes along the way. They've made some changes for the better. They've added some ratcheting for the joints, and they've made a couple changes here and there that I'll show you. But they're all for the better. They got better paint apps, and they came out with this that is really a very, very cool toy. I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and I just love this toy. This thing is really cool. Now, right off the bat, you're gonna notice something on the paints, on the paint details here, is that they've got, I don't know, I think whoever was in charge of the development of this toy must have been a G2 fan, because it looks like neon colors are making a comeback. Yeah, you see these guys where they used to be kind of the silvery claws on the front of the truck there. They've now made them green, and some of the joints and some of the other stuff you'll see as we get into the robot mode. They got this lime green looking stuff here and his weapons, and I'm going to be changing that. I'm going to be making some paint modifications of my own on here. But other than that, I mean, this thing looks really cool. He's your classic red and blue with the silver accents, the blue windows. He looks like Optimus Prime. He looks big. He looks beefy. He looks powerful. He looks awesome. Now, I mentioned the weapons that he comes with, and let's take a look at those real quick. He comes with this shield, which is, I don't know, kind of looks like sort of the Autobot symbol, I guess, sort of. But he's got like this Autobot looking symbol there with the starburst, and that looks okay, I guess. I'm not a big fan of shields usually, so I typically put these guys away, but there it is, so you can see. And he's got a dual handle on the back here, so when he's in robot mode, he'll be able to hold it with his fist, or he'll be able to plug it into the side of his arm. And so it'll make for some cool poses that way. But there it is. I wanted to show you that. And you can actually take this. If you look up here, there's these nubs here on the top of the, what I guess this is kind of like the beast cage. You know, the idea would be is they're out hunting the Predacons, and they would capture them and put them in the cage. So anyway, you see the two nubs there, and there's a port on the bottom of the shield there, and you can plug that right in there, just like so. Okay, next one. He comes with this gun. Now, this is also an upsized version of the gun that came with the smaller guy that you saw earlier. And again, with the green, there you go. Now, this is not a spring-loaded weapon. This is more of the pressure point weapon. You see the little ball on the missile there goes into the C-clamp, and when you push it out, it actually creates enough pressure to shoot it out, and it actually shoots pretty well. So simple gimmick, but very effective. Let me take this guy, and we can plug this right in there. There you go. And then lastly, he comes with his sword, also in this translucent green. Now, very interesting thing that I noticed about this sword. Let's see if we can get this thing to focus in here and get a good look at that. There you go. There's his sword. Now, check this out. This is, let me bring this guy in here real quick. You guys remember the previous version of the the previous Voyager Optimus Prime. You guys remember this guy. We'll take a look at him in a minute. But this is the sword that came with the previous Voyager BeastHunter's Optimus Prime. And right off the bat, you're going to notice they are the exact same mold, right down to the detail. It's hard to see because the new one is all translucent, but even right down to the detail and the grooves on the handle, these are the exact same sword. The only difference is the placement of the bar that you would use to plug on the side of the vehicle mode. That is the only difference. If you were to switch, see if these guys both have the edge, or the angled edge to the left here, you'll notice that I have the peg up on this one and the peg down on the one on the right. Other than that, they are the exact same mold, and obviously the paint is different. This had a more vibrant color, more see-through, and it's got the silver details on the handle there, where this newer guy is more of a, there's no silver detail for starters, and the plastic on it is a bit cloudier. You see that? It's just, the old one looks cleaner for whatever reason. But anyway, there it is. Thought I'd show you that. They're the exact same swords. And again, this guy is getting painted. Yeah, the green, I'm not crazy about the green stuff there, but that's okay. That's not anything I can't fix myself. So, and I like taking on these little projects. So, truck mode. Let's see. Well, let's get back to the basics real quick. This, like I said, this vehicle was released in 2014. This is a brand new figure for this year, and it is $19.99. So yeah, that's your regular Voyager price right there. Rolls pretty good, big, beefy. I love this thing. The truck mode is approximately 8 inches long and 4 inches tall. If you don't count the shield, the shield adds about another half an inch or so. So it's not a big deal, but take that into consideration if you plan to display this guy in vehicle mode. Now, I brought the other guys in. We'll bring him back in again for comparisons. Here he is next to the previous Voyager BeastHunter's Optimus Prime, and you can see quite a size difference. You know, for the same price, you're getting a whole lot more figure over here. And honestly, I have to say, an improvement on the truck mode. Honestly, I honestly think that's an improvement on the truck mode. Don't get me wrong. I love this guy. I love him just as much as I love all my primes. And I totally love this guy as well. I've been a big fan of this figure for a while. But just now, looking at them side by side while I was preparing for the video here, I have to say, this is an improvement on the way the vehicle mode looks. I honestly think so. Let me take these off. And you can judge for yourself here, because I honestly think that putting the weapons on the vehicles or it's kind of silly. So I think that helps when comparing them. I honestly think this newer one is an improvement on the overall design of the truck. So, and then here also is his smaller his cousin, I guess, or his forefather, or his ancestor, whatever you want to call it. There it is. So, yeah, very, very awesome vehicle mode, very awesome prime. Let's get into transformation then. Okay, so the transformation is pretty much the exact same as the smaller guy here. There's a few changes in the design itself and the engineering. But they're for the better, I think. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is pretty much grab them here in the middle and just kind of split them in half and pull the back and the rear wheels in the cage. Just kind of pull those down, get them out of the way. Go back here. These are going to obviously be the legs. You want to separate these right there. And then you're going to take the halves of the cage and just flip those down and around. And those are going to become the front of the legs there. Those click right in place. Right down here are the feet. You just pop those forward. No heel spur, but it's not necessary. He's got enough built. You know, he's kind of got a built-in heel spur there. So, now you're going to take the top of the truck here. Let me adjust the camera because we're getting a little tall. So, take the top of the truck here. You can see these are the arms. And you split those away from each other into the sides, just like that. Now, the front of the truck, it's kind of hard to show here, but there are a couple of tabs right there. You can see the 2 tabs there and there that actually plug in. You can see where his head is at. There's 2 ports, one on each side. So those plug in there for truck mode. So you want to unplug that and just kind of pull this whole thing away from, you know, the torso from the waist piece here. And you're going to take these arms, and this whole thing is going to rotate around the truck just like so. Okay? Now, we can take the torso here. There's 2 plugs and there's 1 big port. These 2 plugs kind of make 1 big plug, kind of what it is, the way that works. And that's going to plug right in there. You accordion that down. That plugs right in there, just like so. And we're starting to get tall here. Take the arms. You're going to separate them. Here's where one of the big differences comes. You're going to separate the arm from the side of the window there. Okay? So that separates. Bring the arm down and rotate it around. Same thing on this side. Split, pull it down, and rotate it. And we're going to get our Optimus straightened out here. And then we're going to see the head right there. You're going to flip that guy up. And then just take his shoulders, pop them up, and just finish straightening him out. And there is our new BeastHunter's Voyager class Optimus Prime, and I think he looks absolutely awesome. He is just powerful looking. He's big and beefy just like his truck was, and I think this guy just looks so awesome. Now in robot mode, he's approximately 9 inches tall, and for articulation, we've got the head unfortunately does not rotate. That's a bit of a shame. If I were to change anything on this guy, it would probably be to try and give him some head articulation, maybe just a rotation. Either that or maybe for the truck mode. Now, if you look at the back's kind of hollow here, but you notice that these guys were pointing straight up in truck mode to what would be the roof of the truck. So, I don't know, that's a little hollow. Maybe I would have just covered that up. Just, you know, put a panel there. But other than that, he's got a full 360 at the shoulder. He's got a bicep swivel right there, 90 at the elbow, and you notice that there is a ratchet there, very powerful, very nice. And then on the legs, at the hips, we can go in and out, full forward, full back, and we got a 90 at the knee, and a little bit of tilt on the heel there, so, or on the foot rather. So there he is. This guy is awesome. I think this guy looks great. Now, let's compare him to his previous cousins. Now, here is the small class, the one that was originally upsized from. And I wanted to bring this guy in first because I wanted to show what some of the differences were. I was mentioning that they made changes in the engineering of the vehicle. If you have this smaller figure, you'll remember that the way that the torso plugs into the rest of the body is by means of these 2 small hooks here right over the waist that would slide into the slots on the back of the torso here. And they weren't exactly the most secure. If you were to be playing around with him or whatever, more often than not, at least in my case, the waist tends to pop off from the torso. So where you saw on the big one, they made that plug. So that's actually a lot more secure. It stays in place a lot better. And then quite possibly my favorite change that they made, if you remember on the smaller figure, the smokestack was attached to the inside of the forearm, which I found very odd. And, you know, if you stand them straight, you usually can't see it like that. But if you're posing them, moving them around or whatever, that sticks out like a sore thumb. And that was one of those things when I got this toy, I like to look at toys and always go, and I always ask myself the question, if I could change one thing. That was the one thing. that I would have changed on the smaller toy. Well, the bigger toy did that. And, you know, if you stand them straight, you usually can't see it like that. But if you're posing them, moving them around or whatever, that sticks out like a sore thumb. And that was one of those things when I got this toy, I always ask myself the question, if I could change one thing. That was the one thing that I would have changed on the smaller toy. Well, the bigger toy did that. They changed the arm around to where the smokestack now stays up on the shoulder, and it stays to the back side of his shoulder, and his forearm is free and clear, and I absolutely love that. I think that is great that they made that change. Now, you see a lot of the green stuff that I was talking about. Like I said, I think whoever was in charge of the development here must have been a G2 fan. You got the claws here, they're green now. The shoulders are green. This stuff, all this stuff here is all green. And that, in my figure, is going to go away. But let's get back to the comparisons. We have this guy right here. We've got his older counterpart, let's call him his ancestor. That's the ancestor, the Legends figure there. And then the previous Voyager class size, BeastHunter's Optimus Prime. And right off the bat, you can tell big difference. Now, obviously, this guy is more accurate to the animation model. That's a given. He looks fantastic. He looks great. He looks just like the animation model. Now, this is how I typically display him, with the wings down, but he's also got the wings that deploy, and he's got all of that, and we'll cover that when we get to his review. But yeah, so this guy here, he looks just like the animation model, but man, when you compare these guys side by side, look at how much more toy you're getting now for the same price. Yeah, he's not exactly animation model accurate, but it's still a very cool representation of Optimus Prime, and I think he just looks awesome. I just love how big and beefy he looks. Now, let's show him off with his weapons right before we close out here. You remember the shield? He can hold it in his hands like I showed you, just like so. Or you notice that on the side of his arms, he's got ports right there. And, well, on this side, not so much. So, that's obviously not going to work there. So, I guess we all know where that's going. You can plug the shield right there on that arm. And I guess we're going to make him a lefty. Since that's the side with the shield, this is the same side we're going to give him his gun. We're going to put the gun right there. And then on the arm opposite the shield is where we're going to put the sword. And that's a tight fit, man. There you go. Okay, so there is Optimus Prime all armed up and ready to go. That's just cool, if you ask me. I absolutely love the way that looks. So I think that pretty much is it for Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Voyager class Optimus Prime. Please leave a comment. I've been getting a lot of really positive feedback. I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying what I'm trying to do here. Please keep it coming. Let me know what you guys think. So leave me some comments, subscribe, share this with your friends if you like what you're seeing, and I'll see you next time on That's Just Prime.